the extent to which your talent will carry you depends on who you choose as a role model and as a mentor. Welcome to another strategic episode of Timotium. My name is Tim Ukuta. Today we'll be talking about a topic I've titled The Weeknd and how to become the best of the best. The Weeknd is a Canadian-born musician who recently became the most streamed artist of all time on the platform called Spotify. His hit, called The Blinding Light, achieved the feat of being streamed 5 billion times. On that same platform, he has more than 100 million monthly active listeners. And so, when this information was released, I started thinking about this guy. I was amazed because of his humble beginning in a Toronto neighborhood called Scarborough. From an early age, this guy started experimenting. So the more I dug deeper into how he became the most streamed musician of all time presently, the more I saw a pattern of how he became the best of the best in his own field of endeavor, which is music. So today I'll be sharing the result of my in-depth analysis of his progress. So his parents immigrated from Ethiopia and he was raised by his mother. From an early age, he became exposed to Ethiopian music and another music from a musician that is arguably the greatest entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson. Now, there are 3 reasons I could attribute to him becoming the best of the best. The first is that he discovered and developed his talent. So the first part to becoming the best of the best is to discover your talent. Every human being, without an exception, I believe, is talented. The problem is that most of us don't discover and develop our talent. Some people succeed in discovering it and they end there and don't develop it. But The Weeknd, whose original name is Abel Tasfaye, not only discovered that he could sing, but he also developed this singing talent. One of his landmark personalities or attribute is the fact that he has a very unique voice. His voice cannot be lost in a sea of voice. He has a very unique voice that could also be likened to the voice of Michael Jackson. So the first thing is to discover and develop your talent. Once you've done this, you now move to the next step. The next step is to choose a role model and mentor. This step is arguably as important as the first step of discovering and developing your talent. The extent to which your talent will carry you depends on who you choose as a role model and as a mentor. In the case of The Weeknd, as I've said earlier on, Michael Jackson was a huge influence. If you listen to his music, you will also come to that conclusion. So it shows Michael Jackson as a role model. And it shows another Canadian successful musician, rapper, Drake, as a mentor. This decision in becoming the best of the best cannot be overemphasized. There is a particular role model that you will choose, and it will minimize your ability to transcend your natural skills. And there is a role model you will choose. It would improve, develop, and stretch your talent limits. So in the case of The Weeknd, it shows Michael Jackson, and it shows Drake as a mentor. In the very early days of his career, Drake was very instrumental in giving him the exposure that increased his fan base. Now, this aspect of choosing a role model is very, very tricky. There are some individuals you choose as a role model, and because every role model has positive and negative attributes, you might end up also copying their negative attributes. So this is a tricky one. You must be very selective in the attribute you select in your role model. And so The Weeknd chose Michael Jackson and chose as a role model and chose Drake as a mentor. After doing this, the third thing that I believed enabled him to become the best of the best in his own field of endeavor, which is music, is that he remained disciplined and continued to grow. Discipline, I've said in past edition of Timotium, is a silver bullet. Meaning, if you are a disciplined person, there is arguably nothing you cannot achieve. So, The Weeknd has remained a disciplined musician that has continued to grow. When he started his career, his songs were very melancholic, were very dark R&B. But he grew and outgrew that, and now his song is now mainstream pop. But discipline has always been his watchword. This guy would continue to develop his sound. This guy will continue to write songs. This guy will continue to produce songs. And today is the most streamed musician in the world. I don't know what you want to do with your life. I don't know what is your area of expertise, but I tell you, you can become the very best in your field of endeavor if you apply these three strategies. Strategy number one, discover and develop your talent. Strategy number two, get a role model and a mentor that can challenge you to become the very best. And the third, be a disciplined professional that continues to grow. Thank you for listening to me. If this has been helpful, kindly share. Kindly come to the comment section and let's discuss. If you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Till I see you next week, remain strategic.